12.7 million American children and adolescents are obese. Starting early is key to stopping this silent and deadly threat. Boston Classical Sobak Do, a YWCA Cambridge program, is a traditional Korean martial art with classes carefully designed to help children grow and develop positively. Our Tiny Tigers program in particular is designed for 3 to 5-year-olds.
Yo, this is Brother R.A., the brother with something to say, 1 o'clock and 30 seconds. Yes, there you go. Yes, we are at CCTV, and, yeah, I'm just showing you outside. Look at the construction across the street from here at CCTV, and this is yours truly, Brother R.A., who didn't even bring up his website yet. Ha, ha, ha. Trying to get too much into one show. 57 seconds is not a lot. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, well. Fine. Here's Brother R.A., and for those that don't know, you can hit the TV. Let's see. I'm on live right now. Hit the TV, and, oh, it's supposed to say, well, maybe because I'm out live now, and there might be too much echo. But you can also hit YouTube and hit the radio, and that would bring you, here, let's do it and see. Yeah, that's last week's show. So, the past few weeks' shows are up there, and okay, that brought me to another page. Let's just go back to this page. BrotherRA.com 102, and let me go ahead and continue from last week. Actually, I did go ahead and bring the calendar, and here, let's enter into the palatial suite. Voila. Yes. Do you see the whole target, or are you just the target? All right, let's go to the calendar. Can y'all see this picture? Let's bring that up. And so, this is December's picture. December says, Black women arrested during Detroit uprising board a bus at Wayne County Jail on July 28th, 1967. That's 1967. December 1st, 1955, Rosa Parks is arrested for refusing to give up her seat to a white passenger on a city bus in Montgomery, Alabama. Go America! Yeah! USA! Oh! And we're going to deal with some of that nonsense too. The men who built America. Eugenist Henry Laughlin publishes Model Sterilization Law, which 18 states passed in the following 5 years. 1922, December 2nd. Here, let's go to today. Today is December 5th, 2018, but in 1960, in Boynton versus Virginia, U.S. Supreme Court rules that racial segregation in interstate bus terminal restaurants is unconstitutional. Boynton, Boynton versus Virginia, 1960. Racial segregation in interstate bus terminal restaurants is unconstitutional. I want to make sure y'all get a good picture. Them filing the black women. You see Sohomi? He's got a baton to beat ass, and he's got a gun. United Snakes of America. Okay, now, I left off last week dealing with thanks-taking, or Thanksgiving, or just thanks, or however you wish to look at it. And we're going to continue. We left off with not milk, the deadly poison. Now we're going to go into, here, I'm just going to shut up and play the piece and let y'all listen. I'm going to go into meditation and just let you contemplate. You'll be looking at me, but hearing these words. And let's see, that's about 11 and 6, maybe 15, maybe a little bit longer than that. I may just come out of meditation and share some thoughts. So, let's go right on into this.
President of the International Vegetarian Union, and he is, as I said, a fourth-generation Montana farmer, and he regularly douses.
I want to hear, listen.
Howard F. Lyman.
There you go.
He's the president of the International Vegetarian Union, and he is, as I said, a fourth-generation Montana farmer, and he regularly doused his cattle and soil with chemicals. And it was only when he narrowly escaped paralysis from a spinal tumor that he began to question his vocation and the effect it was having on people and the land he loved. The questions he raised and the answers he found led him, surprisingly, to adopt a vegetarian diet. As a result, he lost, hey, any of y'all out there trying to lose weight, he lost 130 pounds.
Wow.
And lowered his cholesterol by more than 150 points. He's now one of America's leading spokesmen for vegetarianism. He has it all in a book called Mad Cowboy, Plain Truth from the Cattle Rancher Who Won't Eat Meat. Howard F. Lyman with Glenn Mercer. Welcome to Say It Loud, Howard Lyman.
I'll tell you what, it's a joy to be with you this morning.
And it's a joy to have you. So, if you would, let's just clear up something rather quickly about what happened on the Oprah Winfrey Show and the lawsuit and all that entailed from that. Explain, if you will, why did the Texas cattlemen feel they had to file a lawsuit against you and Oprah Winfrey for food disparagement?
Well, the first thing we need to look at is food disparagement. The law says that you have to knowingly say something you know to be false about a perishable commodity. Well, I was on the Oprah show. I did not say a word that I knew to be false. I told it as it was. The cattlemen were actually sitting on the platform with me and did not disagree. They agreed we were feeding cows to cows. The only thing Oprah said is, that stops me cold. I'll never again eat a burger. Well, they filed a lawsuit against us. We were in Amarillo courtroom for 6 weeks in front of a jury that was absolutely steeped in the cattle culture, where 25% of all of the cattle that are fed in the United States come from. And in 6 weeks, we won a unanimous verdict from that jury that we were not liable. Now, those cattlemen, they appealed that. We just had the oral arguments in front of the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, and it'll probably be another 5-6 months before they rule on it. And then 137 other cattlemen went 40 miles up the road to Dumas, Texas, in state court, filed exactly the same lawsuit, and their lawyer stood on the courthouse steps and said, well, this judge is up for re-election every 4 years. We don't think he'll be intimidated by the celebrity status of the defendants. Well, I'm not from Texas, and so I moved that case from state court back to federal court. We're in front of the same judge in the same courtroom that we spent 6 weeks, and I hope when we win the appeal that that judge will throw that case out. But I want you to know that this is not about food disparagement. This is about the golden rule.
Which is?
People that have enough gold, they think they can make the rules, and they want to take away our most precious right, and that's the right of free speech.
So the case is not over?
Oh, no. The case is still ongoing. The meter's still running. We're still employing a whole bunch of lawyers. But every listener out there should realize that not only on the Oprah show, but shows just like this, the people do not want you to stimulate people to think. Now, you said an interesting thing about that people should do their own research. I really agree with that. But to do that, you have to understand some facts, like we're feeding cows to cows, that we're scraping up roadkill and turning it into feed for animals, that we're actually taking euthanized pets full of chemicals that were used to kill them. City of Los Angeles alone, 200 tons of dogs and cats a month are being ground up, turned into feed, and fed back to our pets or our food animals. You have to know those things before you can go and educate yourself.
You're raising some very horrible points here that I want to elucidate further. Now, when you said we're feeding cows to cows, what do you mean?
Well, at the time that I was on the Oprah show, we were collecting dead cattle, grinding them up, turning them into feed, and feeding them back to other animals. About 95%, as near as I could tell, of all animals fed in factory feedlots were being fed the remains of other animals. Now, once we did that show, USDA and FDA came back and banned the feeding of cows, sheep, and goats back to cows, sheep, and goats, but we're still feeding animals back to cows in feedlots today. We're better than where we were, but we're still not as good as what we should be.
Ugh, that is so nasty. I thought cows were supposed to graze in the pasture. They supposed to only eat grass. Oh my goodness. If you have any thoughts, any questions, you want to join this conversation, that's a pre-recorded show. That was done 5, 6, 7, I don't know, long time ago. On that show I produced, Say It Loud, for AM station in the Boston area. And yeah, if you have any thoughts or comments, give me a call.
Wasn't it a law before the show that you could not feed animals to animals?
Oh, absolutely not.
It was
it's
not
still
a law.
not a law.
Ah, but the USDA came in and did some investigation and did what?
Well, they agreed that they were no longer going to feed ruminant animals, that's cows, sheep, and goats, back to cows, sheep, and goats. It's a step in the right direction, but in England, where they started with this problem, they banned the feeding of all animals to animals. I believe that's where we should go.
Now, they banned it in England based on what? The mad cow disease?
That's exactly right. The spongiform disease that they believe was transferred from sheep to cows, and now they believe that it has been transferred back from cows to sheep, and they're actually taking a look at whether they should be slaughtering all of the sheep in England because of this problem of feeding the remains of animals back to other animals.
Now, I just looked on the internet and saw an Associated Press wire that said, U.S. has low risk of mad cow disease. The risk of mad cow type disease breaking out among people in the U.S. is small, researchers say. And this is what they base it on. The government has taken steps to ban beef imports from Europe and to protect domestic herds from consuming ground-up sheep and other feed that may spread the fatal brain illness, according to a report in Wednesday's Journal of the American Medical Association.
Well, you know, this is really interesting. The first case of mad cow disease was described in England in 1986. The first case. 4 years later, by 1990, it was an epidemic. It got to where there were almost 1,000 cows a week that were coming down with it. I will agree that we have less chance of having the epidemic here than they had in England, but we should learn from what they did over there, that we'd never get ourselves in the same position. And just because we quit importing meat from her, remember that we now know in England that using the products of animals like gel caps, actually have the potential to infect a disease that in humans from the time you get it until the symptoms are visible is anywhere from 10 to 40 years. We're still importing gel caps from England. We're importing things like Jello, marshmallows, so it goes on and on. We should that we're out of the woods.
Well, in case in point, in the same news story, it says that the article that they wrote, that the JAMA, Journal of the American Medical Association, wrote, was talking about a unique set of circumstances that existed in Britain in the late 80s, and the epidemic lasted through 1996. And that what England has done to safeguard is that it has livestock feed and restrictions on infected animals.
Okay, I think that cassette dub got jacked, but let's see if I can give you the actual date when I spit this DVD out and move on to the next segment. That's not bad, 16 minutes into the show, and we wish to eject this disc. And that was $7.6.99. Y'all know what a DVD is, or a CD? Yeah, that was back then. And all of this information now, I won't take it out. I'll show you a different form. But can y'all see that? That's as close as it comes. All right, well, this is an SD card that holds gigabytes worth, maybe 32 gigabytes. And this is how I have to transfer this to a memory stick, it's like, all right. Since I made reference to the memory stick, that was on the memory stick, wasn't it? No, that was the DVD. And here, we spit that out, we put that away. Let's go to what I indulged myself. I didn't even watch all of it. I was very disappointed in my selections of DVDs. I actually went ahead and watched this again, and what he had to deal with, Jesse Owens running in Germany. All right, let me just take a quickie side break and share two other pieces of information. Notice this particular symbol. Okay, can y'all see that? The yin yang, and at 11 o'clock, there's 3 solid lines. Okay, 3 solid lines around balance. Now, opposite the 3 solid lines is the female, which is 2 solid lines and a gap. But they're still balanced. And where are we in our fragmentation of our psyche and so on and so forth? Now, I'm going to see if I can go ahead and read a little piece of the secrets of the Tai Chi circle. Okay? Understand, I'm wearing the balance, the ankh. Can y'all see the ankh? The male meeting the female. And I have to be light as a feather. And it's important to drop my chi and be relaxed. And breathe. take my time and breathe. And one of my past shows, I went like, no, I don't need to be that hard and that harsh. When you breathe, it should be subtle. And spend some time with yourself doing that kind of, reaching deep within yourself. Don't serve an energy outside of yourself. Serve the energy within yourself. And believe in yourself. Believe in your chi. Believe in your divinity. Have your self-esteem. Have your self-confidence. And relax. Can you relax at a higher level of self-esteem and self-consciousness? All right, I'm looking for this one particular, I've read so much of it, I can't find it right now. Journey to Enlightenment. But my joyful scholar, I am the leader of an entire army, and all my people are depending on me. They need my experience and intelligence to lead them. I cannot, even in my thoughts, escape to celebrate the joy of life. Why? Asked the scholar. If I leave, nobody can replace me. Don't you understand that I am irreplaceable? The prince raised his voice a little. Didn't your elder brother say the same thing before he was killed in battle? Since then, you have not replaced him and done just as well, if not better, than your invincible brother. We are all mortals, and nobody is irreplaceable, my lord. I have no more capable brothers to replace me, my scholar. Since the day I took command, I have assumed tremendous responsibilities. I've always taken pride in my experience as a soldier and my knowledge as a scholar. I feel I'm the only one who can carry the world now. All the generals nodded their heads in agreement as they listened to their leader speak. Yes, my lord. No doubt you have the strength to carry the entire world on your shoulders, the scholar agreed. But, my lord, can you put it down? How can I put down my world? How can I put my world down when I have obligations to my soldiers, my generals, my family, my emperor? I have many tasks awaiting me. Only I, The prince pointed to himself. Only I have the intelligence and power to do it. For this poor soldier, he pointed toward the soldier kneeling on the ground and continued, only I have the power to decide his fate. What if you should die tomorrow, my lord? What happens to your obligations then? Asked the scholar. There was great uneasiness among the generals who felt that the conversation had been carried too far. Without fulfilling my obligations, I would die without closing my eyes, the prince swore. Ropes, 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 exclaimed the scholar. What ropes, my scholar? Asked the prince curiously. Your obligations, like the ropes on this unfortunate soldier. These ropes are holding you while you are alive. And they are still with you when you're dead. This comment prompted some of the generals to put their hands on their sword handles. Ignoring the obvious danger, the scholar continued, my lord, being a great scholar yourself, you must understand that things which exist in the state of yang, without the accompanying yin, are incomplete. If you can carry the world on your shoulders, you surely can put it down, my lord. When you came into this world, did you bring anything with you? If not, what does this world owe you? When you leave this world, my lord, can you take anything with you? If not, what do you owe this world? Your obligations exist only in your mind. Those ropes are restricting your freedom, my lord. Break them. Break them. Break them. Here, okay, so, and that wasn't what I intended to read, but that's good enough. We'll let it slide. My chi led me to that. So 1, 2, 3, okay, let's go to the lords that have dealt with a scholar. This is coming from the men who built America. The men who built America
were the first generation of what we know as now the entrepreneurial rock stars, or what are today are the Buffetts and the Jobs and the Gates. They were the ones that set this. The Rockefellers, the Fords, the Carnegies were the first generation of what we know as now the entrepreneurial rock stars, or what are today are the Buffetts and the Jobs and the Gates. They were the ones that set the standard for the American dream. They owned a new frontier, literally and figuratively, of who we are as a culture.
Men of insight, innovation, and ingenuity, the likes of which the world has never seen. And over the next 5 decades, this small group will change history, propelling the United States of America to greatness.
These were great men with a vision that nobody else had. And that's why in the last century, that 50-year period, we built the world.
Oh. You're not supposed to be looking at that. They might cut me off, Rockefeller. You're only supposed to hear that.
first time in the country's short existence, the man most capable of leading America is not a politician. He's a self-made man who, through sheer force of will, turned a poor upbringing on the docks of New York Harbor into an empire.
Vanderbilt.
At 16, Cornelius Vanderbilt buys a small ferry boat with a $100 loan. He quickly earns a reputation as a cutthroat businessman, willing to use any means necessary to get ahead.
Back then, it was just pure competition. My brain against your brain, my effort against your effort. You just competed. That's the way they looked at business. It was the wild, wild west, and by hook or crook, it was just win or lose, and the best win.
He was a tough guy, getting into scraps with other men, beating the hell out of them and knocking them unconscious. That competitive streak and that toughness very much defined his character.
Defined his character.
His single ferry soon becomes a fleet of ships, transporting goods and passengers to...
Okay, so he goes from ships to railroads and blah, blah, blah. And we're talking about, I had to get on the train today, and I get on at Porter Square, and coming down the long escalator is the bronzed images of porter gloves. That's why it's called Porter Square. And porters were the individuals that, dealt with the train and opened the door and closed the door on the train. So, who are we as melanin-dominant black people? Who are we as consciousness? Who are we as defined energies? Can we tap in to our greatness, or in competition, we're talking about human against human? And this individual, some of the notes that I took watching only the first little bit, I couldn't even finish this one because it was just insulting to show how the black woman was trying to seduce the black man because she thought he had it going on. And then these guys here, competition, where our values lie. I mean, this individual, the men who built America, the entrepreneur rock stars, Ted Turner said competition is good for the system. Most business is about doing a better job, out hustling your competitors. Vanderbilt, Fisk, Gould. Fisk and Gould stood up to Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt vows never to be beaten again. Sumner Redstone, Viacom, CBS, majority owner. They don't think in terms of money. They think in terms of winning. Our objective is to win. Not sometimes, but all the time. So these calcified, I'm sorry, I'm trying to be nice and light as a feather, but these my children, melanin recessive, inbred, mutant albinos with the calcified pineal gland, are stuck in winning. Now, winning, how do you, we're saying win? Competition, NFL, and the calcified pineal gland quarterbacks are not as good as the melanin dominant quarterbacks as far as I'm sharing this knowledge. So I, as a individual working on learning who I am, that's the name of the series. Tell me who I am, unsurpassable justice. And tell me who I am. No, I didn't hit the pipe yet. But who are the individuals that I descended from? So this is the shot I wish to share. Look at the aerial shot of the pyramid. So 4 corners, the base of the pyramid is a circle, 360 degrees. Now, 360 degrees is this particular image here. That's at the base of the 4 corners of the pyramid. And as you can see, there are 3 pyramids. Now, which level of consciousness do you choose to be on? Do you choose to be on just the definitive definition level of consciousness? Or do you allow your mind and imagination to deal with the connotations? And what are the ancestors saying to you and I, having built such an edifice? Move from the denotative, or the what you see is what you get, the reality of competition and blah, blah, blah. But is it about winning, or is it about you tapping into yourself? And as you tap in to yourself, you're learning and understanding the connotations or the innuendos or the meaning. And then beyond the connotations is the abstract. Now, what type of architects or what type of individuals could construct 3 buildings that understood the circumference of the world? We are on this one planet. That's at the base of the pyramid. That's yin-yang balance at the base. And as you go up go into yourself and tap into your divinity, what do you see? What do you feel? So, are we stuck here in just the denotative level? Or have we stepped into the connotative level? How is the black man viewed in media? The winning, the Vanderbilt, the Rockefellers, all those melanin recessive inbred mutant albinos with a calcified pineal gland consciousness, not able to tap into a liquid fluid pineal gland, not able to tap into the abstract, and we are taught by these particular children, our children, the ones who had to survive in a cold, dark, overcast environment. They had to hunt for their food, kill or be killed. They didn't have the fruit of the vine. They didn't have the vegetation to eat off the land. They survived the best they could. And in surviving that particular way, now they've gotten so aggressive, all that matters is winning. And how valuable and important is winning? Or is it more important to tap in deep within all levels of yourself? Bring the full 360 degrees balanced sphere of consciousness up into your pineal gland, up into where you have liquid. You have a moist pineal gland. You're balanced to the surface of the earth. You have rhythm. You are tapping in. And, so, 15 minutes left. Abstract. Are you capable of tapping in to the abstract? Mind over matter. And when you deal with mind over matter, what you think matters. So ABC, NBC, CBS News, you watch twice or three times a day, murder, death, kill, murder, death, kill, murder, death, kill, and you fear, you have regret, you're depressed, you have anxiety, you're stressed. What about tapping in and visualizing yourself? Can you visualize yourself? All right, let's try to move on and see if we can, time is never my friend, not Brother R.A.'s friend, no. Here, I was trying to show, actually, where would that be? That would be on this tab, on this page. A little piece as I share the footage from the dolphins, as you heard them make reference to feeding cows to cows and so on and so forth. What about what happens to the dolphins? And are you being fed that? Here, let's see if I can turn this audio down. And you watch this. And I'm going to read a little bit from the Dow. This is the folks planting cameras, what happens in the cove in Japan. They have night optic vision. This is about 5 minutes long, and I'm going to read this here. I climbed up the roots and looked around and saw I had reached an area full of beautiful peach trees. Just as I became excited by my discovery, I stepped onto a dead root and fell down heavily, struck my head and lost consciousness. When I regained my senses, I found myself in the hands of a kindly-looking woman who was feeding me. "Where am I, Aunt?" I whispered, feeling rather weak. And, all right, the image, as you see, this is at night. They're showing them, and they're recording the information with the night optic vision. You all go ahead. I'm going to continue to read. I was truly moved by her kindness and asked, "Aunt, but I'm a stranger. Why do you treat me with so much love? My son in Peach Flower Garden, we are all mothers and sons, brothers and sisters. Now I have a good night's sleep. Tomorrow you'll be yourself again." She hummed a sweet song for me while I untied her head towel and used it to give me warmth. I noticed a beautiful red peach flower embroiled in the towel, and I felt so much love and peace while under this flower of love that I soon fell sound asleep. Early the next morning, at first cock's crow, I awakened by the commotion of the village people as they were getting up. They were already on the move when the first ray of sun struck. I looked through the window and saw young couples cheerfully carrying their hoes to cultivate the land, while the old were happily taking care of their young. I heard people address the lady who nurtured me last night as grandmother. When people settled down to their duties, I asked grandmother, "Why are people so excited and happy today?" "Today is a special day, my son," she answered, and showed me the children she was taking care of. Seeing her treating all children alike, I asked grandmother, "Are all those children your grandchildren?" "Well, I have only 2. 4 of them belong to our neighbors whose grandparents passed away last summer. The rest are orphans," grandmother answered. "How many biscuits of rice do they give you for your service?" I asked, thinking she must earn a good living by providing care for other families. "My son, here in Peach Flower Garden, we help each other without obligations. Good deeds come around in circles, and they will return to those who help others. One family gives help in one way and will receive help in another way. In the long run, each family will give and get help from others equally. grandmother answered, "But grandmother, how can a permanently disabled person give and receive equal help from others?" I asked, thinking that even this paradise must have its share of misfortunes. My son, a disabled head of a household, might be incapable of giving help himself, but his ancestors had probably helped ours, and his descendants will help ours in case they become disabled. Here in Peach Flower Garden, we love the strong and the weak, the clever and the foolish, the beautiful and the ugly, and the rich. Our love will not be a complete love, for things we love cannot exist without the weak, the foolish, the ugly, and the poor. My son, you are in a place of love. After saying that, grandmother proceeded with her busy day of taking care of the children. This is my busy day of sharing knowledge and information. So, as you saw, those were the images from the dolphin story. Here, let's look at this real quick. Let's make sure we get all this information in here. The Cove. And I do believe this was shot in 2009. Alright, I don't want copyright infringement, so just look at the image. Probably I've already violated it, and they probably won't put this on YouTube, but it should be on brotherra.com. And why is someone calling me during my show? You must be a crank caller or something, so don't be calling a brother on his cell phone during the show. And let me begin to pack up. She's gonna be in here in 6 minutes, so I want to make sure you see the dolphins and see how they are melanin dominant, and the melanin recessive swimmers, they probably didn't totally understand the means of communication between an dolphins, look at them, how they're swimming, and they're not bumping into one another. There's got to be some type of rhythm or cognizance or consciousness that they know not to swim into one another. Just like the black men on the football team are able to run the play, but the white quarterback, with his depth perception loss, is not capable of putting the ball where it needs to be for the black man to catch it. But the black quarterback can catch or know the depth and throw the ball more easily to the black receiver. And as I just read, I'm not trying to be racist or talk about black superiority or anything like that. I'm more about, hey, we have to become aware and cognizant in this life. And that's my role and responsibility. Forgive me, I got 45 seconds. I'm trying to get out now. I took care of that. Oh, let me take down my thingy thing here. Y'all can watch me from the aerial shot. And I got the GO. This is my time frame. I'm out. 30 seconds left. Thank you for watching Brother R.A., the brother who has something to say each and every day. Please tell your friends, tune in, and think about who you are. Spend time in the mirror looking in your own eye. That's why I do that, tapping into my own divinity as a cognizant thinking black man. I love you, you love me, I hope, and peace and love and happiness